Welcome to LiveDaf, your online Daf Yomi Shir.
Shalom Aleichem and welcome back to today's Daf, Menachos Daf Kuf, the last and final Daf of our very dear Masechta. So we begin on Kuf Tes Amud Beis, 3 lines off the bottom. It relates briefly back to our discussion of yesterday regarding the status of Beis Chanyai and the activities that took place there. So this was the Mizbeach that Chanyai built down in Alexandria in Egypt, which according to Reb Meir served for idol worship, whereas according to Reb Yehuda, and it's based on a pasuk, it was l'shem shamayim. In fact, the pasuk refers to the karbanos there as being la Hashem. So now the question is, what does Reb Meir, who holds that it was for Avodah Zarah, what does he do with the pasuk that Reb Yehuda cited as a source that it was really la Hashem? It was not Avodah Zarah. Amalei Mar Kashisha, who was the son of Breder of Chizda. He turned Labai and he says, I have a question. Reb Meir, what does he do with Reb Yehuda's pasuk, which seems to refer to that Mizbeach and that activity, and those activities that they were really L'Shem Hashem High Cross. So this pasuk, did Reb Yehuda cites as his source that it was L'Shem Hashem, Maya Aved Lei. How does Reb Meir interpret that pasuk? The answer is that pasuk is referring to a different period of history, a different phenomenon, where in fact there was no idol worship involved. So this is back in the first Beis Hamikdash, when after Sancheriv's downfall, during the time of King Chizkiah's reign, Chizkiah went out of Yerushalayim and he encountered an interesting group of people. Umatzah, he met up with Bnei Melachim, a group of sons of royalty, sitting in their golden chariots, and he was concerned that they shouldn't leave the folds. He says, look, whatever you're up to, but one thing, do not worship idols. He imposed on them a commitment, a neder, like a shvuah. One thing, don't avoid the Zarah. Shnemar, as the pasuk describes it, this is in Yeshaya, Bayamahu. And that day, Chamish Arim Be'eretz Mitzrayim, there will be 5 cities in Mitzrayim, Medabris Sfas Canaan, which will be inhabited by Yidden, who will converse in the language of Eretz Yisrael, Eretz Canaan. V'nishbois Lashem Tzavakis, and they will, the residents will have committed by way of oath to Hashem, meaning to stay loyal to Hashem, and this alludes to this incident, this episode where the Bnei Melachim who relocated to that city, those cities, were committed to Hashem in terms of, deity. So in fact, these fellows relocated to Alexandria, bought a Mizbeach, and they built a Mizbeach there. So although it was not appropriate for them to do so, but it was not L'Shem Avodah Zarah, it was L'Shem Shamayim. Shnemar, and on that Mizbeach it says, a pasuk Bayamahu Yeh Mizbeach L'Hashem, there will be a Mizbeach for Hashem, B'Seich Eretz Mitzrayim. So perhaps, like Taisu said yesterday, that it was meant for Goyim. It was not meant for Jewish karbanos, which are not meant to be brought outside Yerushalayim. But in any case, it was certainly not outside the Beis Hamikdash. But certainly was not Avodah Zarah. So it calls it Mizbeach L'Hashem. Okay, but back to the story of Beis Chanyai, according to Reb Meir, that was really Avodah Zarah. Okay, once we have referenced this pasuk, the pasuk there continues regarding those 5 cities in Mitzrayim. Eventually, Ir HaHeres Yom La'achas, one will be referred to as Ir HaHeres. My Ir HaHeres Yom La'achas, what does that mean? Rabbi Yisrael explained to us, interpreted as follows. Karta, interpreted in Aramaic, right? Karta, a city. The Beis Shemesh, Ir HaHeres, Heres means a sun. Beis Shemesh, a city of sun, which will eventually be destroyed. The As L'Mikrav, which will be destroyed, and that's why the pasuk refers to it as Heres. Heres means destruction, so it's sort of a double meaning there, sun and destruction. Is Amar will be said, this in fact is one of those cities, one of those 5 cities. So one of the 5 is Beis Shemesh, here Heres, which will experience destruction. Umay the ira Heres, Lishna the Shimshahu, how do you see that Heres means sun? Dechsiv, the pasuk in Eiv, Ha'imar la Cheres. He turns to the sun. V'lo yizrach, not to shine. So cheres and heres are very similar. Hey and ches are interchangeable letters. So this is a city called Beis Shemesh. Okay, once we're on the topic of Yeshaya Navi's prophecies, we have a pasuk regarding ingathering of the exiles. La'asad Lavi. Pasuk says like this: Haviyu banai mirachim, bring in my sons from afar, gather them in. Ubnasei, my daughters, mikteoris, from the edge of the globe. What is this double reference? Sons and daughters, different types of exiles who experienced it differently. Haviyu banai mirachim, bring my sons from afar. Amarapun elu golios shel Bavel. It's referring to the exiles in Bavel. Why are they called banai? Because they weren't so persecuted and they were able to focus on their learning and have yishuv adas. Shadaton miyusheves alein kibonim. They're intellectually inclined. They have the focus. They have the yishuv adas, presence of mind, like males who are more intellectually, focused. Ubnoisai miktzeh oretz, and the daughters from the edge of the oretz. Those are different types of communities who were persecuted and did not have the opportunity to develop intellectually because of their haphazard, circumstance. Elu golios shel shara ratzos, and they're called benoisai, like the female who's not really, cerebrally, is not intellectually outstanding, so to speak. Shein datan miyusheves alein kebonos. They're not as cerebral as the males. That's referring to other communities who were not able to have the focus and the yishuv adas because of their, hardships from the goyim. Amar be'Abba, bar v'Yitzchak. Amar b'Chiz amarav. V'amar, some say it was Amar b'Yudah amarav. So you find an interesting phenomenon that the goyim who lived closer to Eretz Yisrael, who were favorably disposed to our high point, to the Yidden in their habitat before we went into Galus. So even during Galus, when they would host the Yidden, but it was with a certain measure of respect and positive, they would positively relate to the Yidden and to our religion and to Hashem. And that took place Mitzur, from the town of Tzur, Va'ad, until Kartigni, between these two cities, Makir and Es Yisrael. So the Goyim amongst them, have appreciation for Yisrael, Vesavin Shashabayim, and Hashem in their Father in heaven. So basically they have deference to Hashem and proper respect. But further out, they're clueless. Vilu v'mitzur klapi ma'arav. But if you travel from Tzur westward and Umikartigni eastward, klapi mizrach, no, they're not really familiar with our lifestyle, with our chashivah, with our status. They don't have the same regard. Ein makir es Yisrael. They don't have proper regard for Yisrael and for Hashem, and therefore they don't hesitate to persecute us and to challenge us. Esvei. Here comes a kasha that was asked by Rav Shimi Barchil. He asked Rav, how could you say that there are goyim out there that don't have the proper understanding of Hashem? Pasuk says from the east where the sun rises until the west, anywhere. My name is known amongst the goyim. There's karbanis for Hashem. So what do you mean? Hashem's presence is only recognized and appreciated in those small areas. Amalei says, Shimiyat, you're Shimi asking such a question? I never meant that the goyim out there have no clue. Of course they do, but they don't have proper clarity. They don't have proper understanding about Hashem being the all-powerful, one and only force. They call Hashem, they refer to him as the God of the God, the power of the powers. Eloha Deloha. So of course Hashem is the supreme power, but there are other powers that Hashem sort of relegated to, and worship those powers in order to evoke blessing, etc. That's the mistake of Avodah Zarah. Whereas the true belief, the true understanding of Hashem is that Hashem is still pulling the strings. Hashem is the ultimate supreme power who controls everything. Even the physical phenomenon, everything that goes on in the world, Hashem is the there's no other power, no other phenomenon other than Hashem. Okay, we have the pasuk there, that we just mentioned, which sounds like you bring karbanis anywhere. You mean you bring karbanis anywhere? You only bring karbanis in the Beis Hamikdash. And this is the first of the next five drashes, which will sort of present a correlation between karbanis and learning Torah. Elu Talmidei Chacham. It's referring to Talmidei Chacham who learn Torah wherever they are, right? Traveling, learning Torah. Ma'ale ani alein Torah says, Hashem says, I will consider them ki'ilu maktirin u'magishin l'shmi, as though they bring karbanis and minchas magishin l'shmi. U'mincha Torah, what's that? Learning Torah with purity. Is that limit Torah? He learns Torah with purity. Nois Isha first gets married to address that realm. Then he learns Torah b'tahara, and he's spared from many from the challenges that would come otherwise. We have a pasuk in Tehillim, Shira Amalos, Hine Baruchos Hashem, Kol Avdi Hashem, Ha'imdu Beis Hashem Ba'leilos. So Avdi Hashem means those that serve Hashem. Sounds like it's in the Beis Hamikdash. But why at night? You don't serve in the Beis Hamikdash at night. My Ba'leilos. Rabbi Yechon again. It's going on Limud HaTorah, which is considered like avoid in the Beis Hamikdash. Elu Talmidei Chacham ha'iskim b'Torah, they're immersed in Torah ba'layla, during nighttime, when they're tired, during the darkness of night, during confusing moments, challenging days. Ma'alo and Aleina cause the Torah considers the kilu as though they're involved in the service in the Beis Hamikdash. Now there's a pasuk Divrei Hayam which talks about karbanis, and it says Lo'olam zois al Yisrael, which sounds like karbanis are constant, but it's not so. It's only when we have a Beis Hamikdash. Once again, Amar Rav, it isn't necessarily referring to the Beis Hamikdash, but even nowadays we have a form of karbanis in a spiritual sense in Shamayim. Zemezbeach Bonai. It's referring to a spiritual altar in the heavens. U'mi'echol Sar Agadol, Amichael, the great Sar, the great minister, the great Malach, advocating for us. Aymed, he's standing to a macrovel of carbon. He's bringing karbanis on behalf of Yisrael. Taisa says there are a couple of ways to learn this Gemara. Either it's neshamas of tzaddikim that he's offering that atone for us, or he brings that some say kvasim shalesh, fiery sheep. Interestingly, Taisa says that explains the when we say Shemon Esrei, Ritzei Hashem Elokeinu, right? Restore the avodah, and then we have an interesting phrase, V'isha Yisrael, the firing offerings of Yisrael. Now, according to one pshat, it's going on the next part of the V'isha Yisrael L'Slasam Meir B'Avos Kol Ratzon, that the fiery offerings and their tefillas accept with favor. Now, what do we have karbanis today? According to this Gemara, it's very well understood. It's going on these things, the karbanis that are being offered in Shemaim on our behalf. Another pshat in Taisus is that the Isha Yisrael is referring back to the beginning of the brach of the tefillah. Hashem restored the avodah, Isha Yisrael, and our offerings. For Rabbi Yechon has a different pshat in this pasuk. Amar, he says, Elu Talmidei Chachamim. Karbanis today, sure, not in a physical sense, but in an intellectual sense, in a Torah sense. Hasugim b'chas avodah. The Chacham are learning Mesechas Menachos, Hilchos Avodah. Ma'al alem HaKos of Torah considers it ki'ilu nibna mikdash b'mei. There's a mikdash here, and there's karbanis being brought. Interestingly, in fact, the Chavetz Chaim promoted, very much encouraged learning of Menachos, of Zvachim, of Kachim. He says, what do you mean if we don't have it today? He says two things. First of all, we want to be ready. Bez Hashem will be experiencing the Gula very soon. We're going to come to Yerushalayim. What do we do? We have no clue. So it's important to learn and be knowledgeable, to be well versed in the halachos and the procedures of the karbanis. Number two, he says, even without that, the fact that we're learning Torah of karbanis, it is considered as though we are Mekayim and bringing those karbanis. We can't do it in a physical sense, but we can do it in the Torah realm. We can fulfill it that way. As per our Gemara, he quotes our Gemaras. We have another pasuk, Zois HaTorah Lo'ila, La Mincha, V'la Chatzah, V'la Asham. Why does it say Zois HaTorah? It says Zois HaChukah. This is the rule. These are the procedures of these karbanis. Torah. Kala Oisik, but a person who's learning Torah, it's as though he brings all the karbanis. He has the same elevation. Kilo Hikriv Oila, Umincha, Chatas, Vasham. As though he brought all those karbanis, he has the same effect, the same experience. Amar Rava. Well, according to you, it should say it differently. It should say Zois HaTorah Oila. Torah is like an oila. Why la oila? Amar Rava, Hai la oila, la mincha. Why the lamid? It should be oila umincha. It should say Zois HaTorah oila umincha. Elam Rava, he has a different twist on this. The Torah is teaching kol oisik. When a Torah person is learning Torah, it atones for his sins. It purifies and cleanses him. And he doesn't need a carbon. It substitutes. It's instead of a carbon. Has the same effect. He doesn't need an oil or chatas. So it would sound like even if he's learning Mesachas Brachos, unrelated to karbanis, the purity, the connection to Hashem that's affected by Torah cleanses him beyond any karbanis. One final correlation between Torah and karbanis. Zois Torah sachatas. What does that mean? Zois Torah sa'asham. And the phrase Zois Torah is extra because we already have another pasuk which begins with Zois Torah and covers all the karbanis. So these psukim are extra to tell you. You learn about chatas, it is as though you're bringing a chatas. The person engages in the laws and the halachas and the discussions and the gemaras about chatas. It is counted as though he brought a chatas. A person is involved in learning about the asham, so he has fulfilled, he has actualized the asham on that level. It's as though he brought the asham in a physical sense as well. Says the Mishnah, last Mishnah. We find an interesting phrase. When a person brings an animal, oila, pretty expensive proposition. Okay, he gets complimented. Ishay reach nechech Hashem. Oh, this is going to bring favor by Hashem. This is gewaldig. But then we find the same lashon applied to a bird, which is significantly less costly, right? Less of an offering. By an oila bird, you find the same exact term. Ishe reich nechayich Hashem. Ubemincha as well, which is even cheaper. Ishe reich nechayich Hashem. What does that teach us? It's not about the presentation. It's about the personal aspect. What's your heart? The carbon is merely an expression of your love for Hashem. What does this teach us? It's not about quantity. It's about internal commitment. Echad amar, but whether a person brings a huge gift, echad amar, even a small gift, it's all the same for Hashem. Hashem is looking at your heart. As long as his heart is directed and connected to Hashem. Where's a source? Another source for this idea. Farshim explained that he's coming to add that it's actually exactly the same. Exactly the same. Ovid means the person serving. In this case, the person is offering a carbon. He'll sleep peacefully. Whether it was a big carbon or a small carbon. Whether it's a little or a lot, that's not the point. He'll benefit. He'll get rewarded. The main thing is where his heart is. Rav Ada bar Abba another source. Yeah, you bring a lot of karbanis, lots of kahanim eating it, lots of material. That's not the main point. How does it benefit its owner? It's all about what Hashem sees within you. That's the ikr, that's the focal point. Tanya, Amar Reb Shimon Azai, come take a look. Another interesting diuk. Maksiv Pashas Karbonis. How did the psukim in the Karbonis relate to Hashem? There are many ways to refer to Hashem. There's Elikim, there's Kael, there's Havaya. Shaloi never behand loy, Kael, v'loy Elikim. We don't find any other way of referring to Hashem, any other name except for Ella La Hashem, Yud Kei Vav Kei, the source of all existence, the one and only Hashem. And the pasuk consistently refers only to that perception, our perception of Hashem. Hashem doesn't want to even open the door, to leave room for a challenger to make a claim and say, well, there are lots of powers, and we have to offer various karbanis to address and to satisfy all kinds of powers. Hence, this carbon is for Kael, and this is Elokim. No. Torah consistently refers to Hashem the same way to say it's all just for Hashem. Hashem is the one and only power and source of existence. Anything else out there is just sort of it's almost like a pipeline, right? You can pour the water through this pipe, through that. The pipe itself has no power. So Hashem is the power that permeates everything. There's no other existence other than Hashem. Another insight into the term Reich Nichayach. V'nemer b'shar hagas, we find when one offers a big cow, a big ox, Ishay Reich Nichayach Hashem, it brings goodwill to Hashem. U'ev hadak, and we have a small bird, same lashon, Ishay Reich Nichayach. U'amincha, same as a mincha, which is even less expensive. Ishay Reich Nichayach. We learn, it teaches us whether you offer a humongous offering, or generous carbon, or you bring a small one. It's all the same. As long as your heart is connected to Hashem, you do what you could. It's all about the effort. It's about that personal relationship. Continues the Bryce of Hashem. Perhaps a person can contemplate what's the purpose of these karbonis. If we learn so much, about various karbonis, we learned Mesechas Vachem, Mesechas Menachos, a couple of hundred dapim. What's the purpose? Is it for Hashem's benefit? Hashem needs to consume these things. He has benefit from it. No. It's for our good. Pasuk in Tehillim says Hashem doesn't need our karbanis. Hashem gave these animals for us as an opportunity to display, to express our love to Hashem. Im erav lo yamelach, Hashem says in Tehillim, I'm not going to call to you because I'm hungry, so to speak. Kili tevel melayai, everything is mine, the whole world. V'nemar, we have another pasuk. Kili kol chasiyar, all the animals are mine. V'hemas mari olav, yadati kol harim, all the birds. V'zisad imam. The pasuk continues. Ha'echab sarabirim. You think I'm consuming these animals? Dama tutim eshta, and drinking the blood? No, it's for your good, for your benefit, to evoke goodwill, to allow you to do teshuvah, cleanse yourself, and reconnect to me. Le'marti aleichem zivchu. I didn't instruct you to bring karbanis kadesha taimar, so that a person should think, should have the notion, you know what, it's a good deal. I'll do what he wants me to do. I'll bring him a carbon, I'll offer him something, and then he'll do something for me. He'll fulfill my wishes. No, the whole thing is just for us. You're not offering it for me, says Hashem. It's for your benefit only. That's why you bring the Karban Shenamar. The Pasuk says, it's solely for your benefit. Tizbachu. Davar Acher. Another application to this Pasuk. L'tzaynchem tizbachu. L'ritzayinchem zivchu. L'datem zivchu. You should want to do it. You should be doing it willingly. And with focus. What does that mean? There's a halachic chiddush here. Kedeboy menei Shmuel Rav Huna. Shmuel asked Rav Huna, "Menai l'masasik b'kachim shu pasel." What is this masasik? He's engaged in a different, he's lifting a knife off the floor, and inadvertently he shechts a carbon without intention, without kavanah, without premeditation. Shu pasel, carbon is pasel. How do we know shenemar? V'shachad es ben abokar. V'shachad es ben abokar. We learn from there, shchita l'shem ben bakar. The act of shchita has to be planned for the sake of shechting this animal. Amaloi. So that's the source. He says, yeah, I knew that. Zubi yadenu. I knew this source. I knew that you're supposed to. It's preferred, it's ideal, but how do we know it's critical, it's essential? La'akev, that it's ma'akev, and how do we know that? Oh, that's the other pasuk. And when the pasuk repeats something, we know it's for emphasis, teaching us that in fact, it's critical that it be done this way. Talmud Leimar, we have the pasuk by the Shlomim. So the first pasuk was by the Oilo, now comes by the Shlom, which teaches us with intention, with focus, with kavanah. L'datchem zivchu, and that's the only way it works. Okay? Hadanloch. Harilei Sorein, Uslikla Mesechas Menachos, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov. It's been a great pleasure learning this dear Masechta, all of us together. A great schus, a great honor. Really, really a pleasure. May Hashem enable us, allow us, encourage us to keep on going, b'simcha, because in tehait, with nachas ma'al families, it's everything we need, ruchnis b'gashmis, to keep on learning Torah b'simcha, b'yeshiva das, with focus, with mechav v'li b'lashamayim, and may our learning count as though we grow all those karbanos, and may we be zeicha to actually experience the Bnei Beis Hamikdash in our time, b'meher b'yameinu b'karev and b'makriv, all those karbanos that we've learned so much about, and we're so connected to at this point. Let us be zeicha to be involved in the akrava of these karbanos, the Bnei Beis Hamikdash, b'meher b'yameinu. Amen. Mazel tov, mazel tov.
Is the Zoy Sato Yiro, Kihilo, was the Yiro, oh, is the Yiro, Gilvino, is the Zoy Sato Yiro, Kihilo, was the Yiro. I know Gilvino, is the Zoy Sato Yiro, Kihilo, was the Yiro, oh, is the Yiro, Gilvino, is the Zoy Sato Yiro, Kihilo, was the Yiro. Kilo nu was the yo. No, you